Okay, so I guess we're not doing another travel vlog today. I've been here for I think 5 days now and I haven't really been able to make one for one reason or another. So instead today, we are actually going to be talking about what to do if you find yourself in the middle of a natural disaster while traveling solo. Okay, so a little bit about my current situation. I am currently stranded in a coastal city in Japan during Typhoon Hagibis. I don't know what they call it. In Japan here, they're just calling it Typhoon number 19. And that's a whole lot easier to do. Take note, America. Now, if you didn't know from watching any of my other videos, I am actually in Japan for the Rugby World Cup. My match was last night. It was awesome. It rained the whole time, but it was great. And I actually needed to book a hotel in this city in order to go to the match. I got back from the match last night, and that was the last train that they were going to run. I had plans to be in Osaka, actually right about now, and yeah, let's just say those plans didn't really work out. The rail company here in Japan actually suspended all trains pretty much for the whole main Japanese island of Honshu, or at least between Tokyo and Osaka, which kind of left me here. But that's enough about my situation because, hey, you don't care. You're dealing with your own right now, probably. So let's get into the checklist of what you should be doing to mitigate this whole issue. So first things first, you're going to want to make sure that you are informed about whatever is going on, whether it's a typhoon like this or an earthquake, tornadoes, ice storm, whatever it is, you need to know what's going on. So you can get a couple of different apps on your phone. I use either AccuWeather or, what is this one? Weather Radar is one I just downloaded. This one's actually pretty good here. You can see that the typhoon is actually headed right for me. I am right above where the eye is, right there. It is always good to keep an eye on stuff like that, even if you're not in an affected area, but you anticipate whatever happened is going to affect your trip. It definitely pays to know what's going on. Okay, next up is make sure you have the essentials. Food, water, shelter. It's real simple, folks. Now, if you're in immediate danger, there is definitely an order to those things, and that would most likely be shelter, water, food. Now, today I actually was kind of in that situation. So what I did was take shelter actually in the train station here because my hotel had to kick me out at 10 o'clock. I had to check out by then, and this one that I'm sitting in right now wouldn't let me in for about 4 hours after that, meaning that I was literally out in the cold for about 4 hours. So what I did was find a train station, find any place that's open, and go and basically sit on the floor for 3.5 hours because I did find a McDonald's so that I could get something to eat. But it's very important that you can find shelter away from whatever the problem is. And if you're a solo traveler, I think you probably know how to find shelter, food, and water, so I'm not going to go any further in depth into that. Okay, so once you have your basic needs met, that is when you can start moving on to the next step, which is figuring out the plan for the rest of your trip. This has likely affected a huge portion of your trip. For me, it's changed about 2 days out of 14 that I'm gonna be here in Japan. Let's hope it's not any more than that. And for me, the next part of that plan was finding a hotel room and figuring out when the trains are gonna be running again. For you, that might mean figuring out your own hotel room and whether your flights are canceled or delayed, or if you're gonna get a refund, anything like that. This is when you can figure that out. Okay, so when it comes to the hotel, you can always just use the same apps or booking websites or whatever you've been using on the internet to find a hotel. Or another thing that you can do is kind of just walk into a place and see if they have a room. That same earthquake or blizzard or typhoon might have affected them just as much as you, where they have empty rooms that they didn't have now. And hey, they're always willing to take your money. And hey, this hotel is awesome. It comes with some great perks like, oh, hang on. These cool robes that are like 2 sizes too small for me. And these slippers down here, that's awesome. I wish America would do stuff like this. And as far as your transportation goes from this point on, you can always look at the company that you bought your ticket through. Sometimes the government of the country you're visiting will actually have some kind of notification service. I know here in Japan there's one that actually let me know that train lines were going to be suspended before I actually figured it out from the company that suspended them. But you can always look at your own country's like Secretary of State type office. I know that I could look at mine and they would have alerts about different things to do with this typhoon coming. But there again, it just shows that in times like this, information is your most important commodity. The final thing you really need to do is remember that you are on vacation. You chose to take this trip. Might as well make the most of it. Keep a positive attitude, that kind of stuff. Look, I'm about to be destroyed by a typhoon that they're saying might break records here in Japan. But I'm still having fun. I'm making this video for you. That's really it. I mean, hey, if anything, it'll be a great story when you get home to tell about, hey, remember that earthquake you saw on the news? Yeah, I was in that. You can even lie and say that you were, even if you weren't. But just remember to keep your spirits up. Don't let this one thing ruin your whole vacation. One that you've probably been planning for a long time, one that you've probably spent a lot of money on, if you're like me, and just continue to try to enjoy it. And just remember, the sun will come out tomorrow. Oh, that was corny. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And remember, the most important thing you need to know about any natural disaster while you're traveling is that you need to smack that like button. For a small channel like mine, that really helps out, and hey, I appreciate it. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do another video tomorrow for my trip to Osaka, even if there is going to be a trip to Osaka. So I hope you'll tune in for the next video, and stay safe out there. Bye.